Shalom, fam. Shalom, fam. It's your Moreh, Jaden Israel. Shalom, fam. It's Moreh. Oh, I'm hearing an echo. It's because I'm playing the YouTube video. I'm playing the live video and recording at the same time. Let me pause the video. Oh, hopefully you didn't hear that, family. By the way, the mistakes are absolutely free. I should charge for the mistakes, but I'm going to look out. I'm not going to charge for them. Oh, praises to Yah. Welcome to another spicy live stream. I'm your Moreh, Jaden Israel. The title of today's live stream: You're an Israelite through your mother or your father. Prove me wrong. That's right. That's my position. You probably never heard this before in the Hebrew Israelite community. Most Hebrew Israelites, the vast majority of Israelites, they claim you are who your father is. Have you ever heard that phrase before? Have you ever heard that statement? You are who your father is. That is a popular doctrine that is floating around our community. I am a Hebrew Israelite. I don't like calling myself a Hebrew Israelite. I prefer Israelite. Hebrew Israelite, it sounds clunky. It's too long to say. That term is not even in the Bible. That term is not even in the Bible. Whatever. In our community, you probably haven't heard this claim before, that you can be an Israelite through your mother. You could be an Israelite through your father, or through both. That's my conclusion that I arrived to. Now, before we get into this discussion, you're an Israelite through your mother or father. Prove me wrong. And I'm giving you the opportunity to come on the panel or to voice your opinion in the chat. Before we get into this, family, I got some surprises for you. That's right. Let me go ahead and show you these gifts. Before y'all get mad at me, all y'all fatherists out there, that's right, you fatherists. There are many Hebrew Israelites that are fatherists. I'm not one of them. Now, this is what you want to do. Scroll below the video that you're watching right now. And you want to click where it says more, right here, where it says your favorite four-letter F word, F-R-E-E. Free goodies. 30 words in Paleo Hebrew, Biblical Hebrew, and English. Learn 30 words, Paleo Hebrew, Biblical Hebrew, and English. Video tutorial and free PDF download right here. Yahusha's Prayer, the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and English. Video tutorial and free PDF download. The 10 Commandments in Hebrew and English. Video, PDF. The Shema prayer in Hebrew and English. Video, PDF. And the priestly blessing in Hebrew and English. The Benediction. You guessed it. Video tutorial and free PDF download. Family, I created these video tutorials and I created these free PDF downloads. That way you can have it right in your phone. I spent my time and my knowledge, and I'm giving you these free goodies, family, that I should put a price tag on. Check it. If you want to go deeper, this is how you can. This is how you can reclaim your language. Want to start learning Hebrew? Hebrew Mastery Bundle. I recommend the bundle. It's 2 courses put together in one. After the end of this bundle, you will learn how to read, speak, write, and understand Hebrew. All Hebrew courses right here. We have courses for children and adults. We also have Gematria, which is the numerical values of Hebrew letters. As a former Sunday school teacher and licensed minister in Christianity, it's my honor to teach biblical Hebrew. Enroll now. Want to start learning? You want to start learning how to make income, family, on the side? Want to start earning income on the side? Or when you're ready, you can replace your 9 to 5. Trading Mastery course. My wife and I, we are stock market investors. We show you how to earn this money. There's no free lunches, family. We show you this skill. This is a skill set, family, that I encourage all of us to have. Need Hebrew Israelite apparel? For instance, you want to cop this shirt that I'm rocking, that I'm flexing, you can go ahead and click on the link. The name of the brand is Cavode, 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 which means honor, splendor, glory. I could talk about it, but I'd rather show it off. Cavode, styled in legacy. Shalom, unlock 20% off your order. Cavode means honor, splendor, glory. For example, these beautiful couple t-shirts that you see on screen, both these t-shirts together can be 20% off. This really says 5.0. It's really 5.0. We have customers that forgot they were Israelites. The customer is not always right. Left side are the categories. Right side is a sample. We have clothing for women, men, and children, clothing for regular days and feast days. And go ahead and claim your 20% off your order by using this link. Use that link right there, fam. Hallelujah. If you would like behind the scenes footage, you want to laugh at my mistakes. If you want to laugh at me, it's going to cost you now. But check it. We also have behind the scenes footage, bloopers, advanced biblical tools to advance your studies, and also advanced biblical teachings that I can't put out on YouTube because there are too many sensitive YouTubers out there. A lot of them are Hebrew Israelites. And I'm a Hebrew Israelite saying this. But you know that's facts. Go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon. Subscribe, unsubscribe anytime, family. Cash App, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, YouTube, Super Chat are ways you can support the ministry. Shout out to YouTube. We are monetized. My wife and I, we appreciate the support. We don't need it, but we appreciate it. Now, for our schedule, go ahead and go to the top of the page, right below the super cool, awesome banner that I designed. Yep, that's my skills right there, family. Click on more to get our schedule. The Shabbat word, which is Sabbath service, Friday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. I'm a preacher, bro. That's what I love to do. All praises to our great King. Now, Shabbat service includes prayer, praise music, and preaching. Let's fellowship together. Motivation Monday. Mondays at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. Get your motivation for your week. Get your work week started with some motivation. Motivation Monday. Real Talk Tuesday. Open panel live streams. Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And when I am free, I go live on Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Trading course right here. Hebrew Mastery Bundle, I recommend. Hebrew courses, all courses right here. Patreon, exclusive footage, Etsy, Cavode, Cash App, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, YouTube Super Chat, TikTok, IG, Facebook Meta, Jaden and Jazz. This is my wife and I's channel. We speak about Black love, Trinity topics, celebrity news. It's a secular show. Well, however, as Israelites, let's not be bumbleclots. Let's not be over religious. Let's not be religious. Let's be balanced. Also, if you'd like to contact me on my email, one condition: verify that you are not a robot. Hallelujah. I'd like to say shalom, shalom to Ty Keith. Shalom, shalom to you, King. It was great to see you yesterday and tonight. Feel free. Everybody in the chat, everybody listening online, feel free to let me know if you agree, if you disagree. If you like to prove me wrong, I'm giving you the opportunity. I am going to open up the panel right now. Join the panel now. Shalom, shalom to Zakane. Zakane means elder. Elder Byron Willer. Shalom to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Join the panel now if you like, or if not, if you don't feel comfortable, that's okay. You can go ahead and voice why you don't agree with my stance. You can share your stance in the chat, or you can come online and we can chop it up. We can chop it up. We can talk about it. We can get into it, family. Now, I had to do my own research to arrive to this conclusion. I'm familiar with the Hebrew Israelite doctrine that is pushed most of the time. When I say the Hebrew Israelite, I'm saying generally speaking. I'm generally speaking that most Hebrew Israelites that I have come across, that I've seen on YouTube, they say that you are who your father is. That's what they say. They say that if your father is an Israelite and if your mother is a Gentile, then that child will be an Israelite. However, this is what many Hebrew Israelites say. If your father is a Gentile and your mother is an Israelite, then that child is a Gentile. I disagree. From my stance, you can be an Israelite through your mother, through your father, or through both. From my stance, if your father is an Israelite and your mother is a Gentile, the child can be an Israelite. Now, if the father is a Gentile and the mother is an Israelite, then that child can be an Israelite. That's my position that I arrived to. I had to unravel, undo, and throw in the garbage many teachings from the camps. You know I don't watch them. That was a phase when I was learning about the awakening. At first, I wasn't rocking with them. At first, I was like a pro-black Christian conscious community thingy. I was confused. This was around 2018. I was curious. I knew that I needed to search for more. I needed to search for the truth. I knew that Christianity was not the answer. So I had to search. And I remember going on Sonetta, or I remember watching a lot of Sonetta and learning about different beliefs. And I came across the Hebrew Israelites. And at first, I wasn't really feeling what they were saying. But eventually, I checked out their content. I found it hilarious. I find them to be pretty funny at the time. I don't find them funny now. What I found funny back in 2018, it ain't funny to me now because I was at a low state in 2018. I was in a low vibration. So the things that you find funny while you're at a low vibration are not funny anymore when you are on a higher plane. And I'm not saying I'm on the highest plane. I'm not saying I'm holier than thou. I'm not saying that, family. Look, I strive to be balanced. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. As they say, nobody's perfect. That is true. It's cliche, but it's true. I hate cliches. But I don't think that I'm better than you or better than somebody because I love Yah and I know who I am. However, I was learning about the camps and I remember believing some of their teachings, just believing it, not double checking it. And then when I came across other Israelites that were scholastic, that were diplomatic, that were about peace, love, and unity, I realized that these camps, a lot of them, they speak many lies. They push these lies and they have the loudest voice. So it's easier to believe the people who have the loudest voice, even when they're wrong. So a lot of teachings from these camps I had to throw in the trash because they are not true. They are subjective and conjecture. So from my stance, you can be an Israelite through your mother or through your father or through both. But if you disagree, let me know why you disagree in the chat, or if you'd like to come on the panel, the link is in the chat. Join the panel now. Even if you agree with me, we could just chop it up. We could talk about it. You do have Israelites that believe, like myself, that you can be an Israelite through your mother. It's not strictly who your father is. It's not you have to strictly be an Israelite through your father and only through your father. That is not true. And we have evidence of that. And I'm willing to share that evidence depending on the mood of tonight. Depending on how far we go, the more I will show. I'm just gauging it. I'm seeing so far we got some different views, which is good. I like to hear different views. I like that we think for ourselves and that we share our own perspectives. We can agree to disagree. This is a peaceful platform. I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Don't take my light skin for weakness now. Don't let my light skin fool you. All right. Interesting. I'm just reading the chat. If you're wondering what I'm doing, if it looks like I'm struggling, it's because I'm reading. We got some interesting responses in the chat. Elder Byron, you say you disagree. We've spoke about this before. I've heard some of your stance before. We've touched up on it, but we didn't go in depth. So it looks like I'm looking at the chat, and based on what I've seen so far, I'm going to ask Ty Keith. So Ty Keith, do you believe that can you be an Israelite through faith only, or through blood, or through both? I'm going to ask the chat that question, not just Ty Keith, but I'm going to ask everybody listening. So can you be an Israelite through faith alone, or through blood alone, or through the combination of both? What's you guys' stance on that? Because right now I'm looking, I see some different positions. Right on. Thank you, Ty Keith. Thank you for addressing that. So you could be like spiritual Israel, and you could be a spiritual Israelite, and you could be a physical Israelite. That reminds me of that verse in Esther, where towards the end of the book, I believe it's toward the very end of Esther, where there was those who became Jews. So you can become Jew by faith, but can you become a bloodline Jew? So I'm going to ask everybody in the chat this question, because we have that in Judaism as well. Can you become an Israelite by blood? Or if you're a Gentile, can you become an Israelite by blood? Or if you're a Gentile, you can only become an Israelite through faith. Rufio, if you want to come on the panel, the join the panel now, we can talk about it. We could talk about it. That is a good question, Rufio. If I'm saying your name right. So I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. That is a good question. That doesn't prove. However, that does not prove that you are only an Israelite through your father. Your statement that you made, Rufio, is not hard evidence that you cannot be an Israelite through your mother. You can be an Israelite through your mother. Now, if you ask me, you can be, this is very interesting. So let me see how I want to phrase this. Yes, you could be a physical Israelite, because Israelite is actually an English way of saying the word Yisraeli, 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 Yisraeli. Don't it sound like Israeli? Check it. The term Israeli is more Hebrew than Israelite. Technically, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you are Israeli. You're Israeli. So technically, we are Israeli. So with that said, an Israelite is a descendant of Israel. Who's Israel? One of our ancestors, one of our fathers. Israel is one of our fathers, one of our forefathers. And if you are a descendant of Israel, you are an Israelite. Or I should say, Yisraeli. Yisraeli. So technically, we are Yisraeli. I bet you haven't learned that from the camps. They're not going to teach you that because they don't learn Hebrew. They hate Hebrew. Instead, they try to attempt to learn Hebrew. No, they don't even try to attempt to learn Hebrew. They have created Lashon Kodash, which is not pure Hebrew. It's Hebrew slang. It's baby talk. It's slang. Now, at times you hear me say Lashon Kodash in order to build a bridge, but I'm going to be real with y'all. Lashon Kodash is not pure Hebrew. It's slang at best. And I think that's cool if you want to speak Lashon Kodash, but just know that it's slang and know that you cannot have a real conversation in Lashon Kodash. You're going to result to a lot of pointing. Your conversations have to be extremely short. And you're going to sound ridiculous while you do it. So physically, you can be an Israelite. Yes, an Israelite is a descendant of Israel. So everybody that is a descendant of Israel is an Israelite. So yes, it is a bloodline. And Israelites exist today. Israelites exist today. They did not disappear. Now, spiritually, can you become an Israelite? Yeah, I can rock with that. I can rock with that. Spiritual Israelite? Yeah, I can rock with that. Because being an Israelite ain't going to cut it. Being an Israelite alone, knowing who you are, having knowledge of self, ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. So there has to be a transformation on the inside, on the outside. You have to be circumcised in the heart. We have to keep the Torah to the best ability that we can. We have to love Yah with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our might. We have to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And our neighbor includes the Israelite and the Gentile. Don't believe what them bumble class tell you. They lying. They're lying to you. They're lying to us. We are commanded to love Yah, love our neighbor, and to love ourselves. So yeah, I can rock with that. Yeah, you can be a spiritual Israel, because even a natural Israelite, they have to be circumcised in their heart. They have to be transformed on the inside and on the outside. So therefore, spiritually, they have to become an Israelite. So yeah, being a physical Israelite is not good enough. But however, I do believe this, and this is with all respect. If you are a Gentile by blood, you can't become an Israelite by blood. I know that might sound uncomfortable to say, but I gotta be real. But that's okay though. That's okay, because everybody can be a part of the covenant. You do not have to be a natural born Israelite to enter into covenant. The covenant is for all people. I taught on this. The covenant is for all people. I'm gonna go ahead and use this as an opportunity to shamelessly plug one of my teachings, because this is from Deuteronomy 29. The covenant is for all people. I think I went too far. Let's see. The covenant is for all people. Here it goes. Here it goes. Right here, family. On the left side, the Yah's covenant for all. Yah's covenant is for all nations. Deuteronomy 29, verses 10 through 29. Hebrew Israelite Shabbat service. Yeah, so there's no disagreement there. Being a Jew outwardly is not good enough. That's not what I claim. But I don't know any Israelite that says that. The camps don't even say that. The camps, from what I know, they don't say that just being an Israelite is good enough for salvation. Maybe there's some out there that say that. I haven't heard that. But then again, I haven't heard the camps in years. So I don't know. But being a Jew or an Israelite outwardly, that's not good enough. I'm not claiming that. However, a natural born Israelite, they have to be transformed. They have to be circumcised in their heart. They have to be transformed. So we all have to become spiritual Israelites. However, physically speaking, through blood, a Gentile cannot physically become a physical Israelite. It's important to have knowledge of self, to reclaim your heritage. To me, that's a great place to start, not a great place to end. Do not end your journey, your walk in this faith, by just knowing knowledge of self. That's where you start. That's where you start. Having knowledge of self is a beautiful thing. For our identity, it was removed from us. Family, I say this out of love. I'm mulatto, I'm mixed, I'm light skinned. I got love for all people, all nationalities. Salvation is for everybody. It's for all nations. However, we as Black people, as melanated people, people of African descent throughout the diaspora. Our identity, our nationality, our culture, our language was taken away. Many of us do not know who we are. When we look into the Black community, many of our brethren do not know who they are. I'm not forcing my beliefs upon you. However, I believe that you have the right to research and to discover your nationality. But just know, once you find out that you're an Israelite, don't stop there. Start right there. That's where you can start. Knowing who you are, it's overrated. It's overrated. However, it's still a blessing. We are not black. Black is an adjective. It's not a nationality. It's a color. Technically, it's a neutral. Technically, it's a neutral. We want to be dorky, and I'm good at that, family. I'm an Israelite, and I'm still black. I'm an Israelite, and I'm still white. Talk to me. Some things will never change. If I'm going to be myself and be dorky, check it. Check it out. I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my thought. I lost my thought. I'm up here yapping. I'm a yapper, bro, as God Logic said about me. He is absolutely true. I am a yapper, bro. Now, what I'm saying is that black, now it came back to me. Black is not a color. It's a neutral, if you want to be technical. But if we want to say it's a color, okay, that's fine. It's not a nationality. It was a term that's been slapped upon our people. And technically, I don't know if when we say black, we're really saying dark brown or different shades of brown. But jet black, that is not an accurate description. Oh, I mean, you can go off topic if you want, Ty Keith. If you want to go off topic in the chat, that's fine. You know, I'm not tripping on that. I'm just seeing if there's anybody that wants to join the panel. If not, I'll just keep on flapping my gums. And we could talk about it. We could get into it. Or now we could just talk about it in the chat. That's fine as well. I'm giving y'all an opportunity to come on here and prove me wrong, because I hear a lot of Israelites say you are who your father is. I can tell they haven't done their research when they say that. I can tell that a lot of them are just regurgitating Hebrew Israelite chief priest Bumaclot talking points, and they're not going deep enough. They're snorkeling. They're not scuba diving. They're snorkeling. So it's beautiful as Black Americans, Black people throughout the diaspora, that we can reclaim our heritage as Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, Jews, however you want to say it. My friend 12TJC, he says Judean, Hebrews, whatever you want to call yourself. It's a beautiful thing that we can reclaim back our identity. But we know that's not where it ends. That's a place where we can start. Knowing who you are is overrated. Yeah, I don't mind you guys going off topic. That's fine. It's crazy. I've made videos on this subject. I have said through previous videos that you could be an Israelite through your mother or through your father or through both. And I notice that I got pushback in the comments. And tonight, I'm leaving myself vulnerable. You guys want to come on? I'm saying you guys, I'm talking about those specific people that go out of their way to say that you cannot be an Israelite through your mother. I'm giving you the opportunity to jump on this panel and prove me wrong in front of the whole world. I made several videos talking about this. I haven't went into depth. I just stayed on the surface. And I find it a little troubling that I have received comments from those that say, okay, show me scriptures. Okay, show me where it says in the Bible. Show me where it says in the Bible that you could be an Israelite through your mother. I'm going to say this respectfully. Even though I'm a Moreh, I'm a teacher, and I say this with humility, I earned this title. I can't always just give you the answer. If I just give you the answer, you may not even want to receive it. Now we got some guests. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me start with Elder Byron. Shalom to you. Zakane, Byron, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing, brother?
Katov. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Long time don't speak.
Yes, sir. It's been a long time. Now on panel, we have how you say your name, sir?
Gamliel, brother.
Gamliel.
Mm-hmm.
Gamliel. Shalom.
Shalom, brother. So I'm kind of late. I just joined in. I've I've never watched your channel before. It just kind of popped up, and I thought you had an interesting topic, and so I just tuned in. And you asked for people to come up, and nobody was coming up. So I just felt like I should come up and like hear out your points and see, like, okay, so you're saying that it doesn't sound like you're saying that a person can't be an Israelite through the father. You're saying that the mother also factors into it. Am I understanding you correctly?
First, I'd like to thank you for coming on the panel. I've done videos on this topic before, and I got a lot of pushback, a lot of hate in the comment section. But I noticed tonight, I'm like, where all the smoke at? And I'm giving everybody an opportunity to bring me this smoke. But for whatever reason, they either, they hide in the chat, or they listening, or they don't want to come on the panel. But Gamliel, from my position, I believe that if one of your parents is an Israelite, the child is an Israelite. Now, if both the parents are an Israelite, you're definitely an Israelite. So that's my position. You could be an Israelite if your mom is an Israelite, but your dad's a Gentile. The child can still be considered an Israelite, and vice versa. If the father is an Israelite and the mother's a Gentile, then the child can still be considered an Israelite. So for me, either parent.
Okay. So I guess I would start off by asking, like, how do you define an Israelite? What is an Israelite in your definition?
That is an excellent question. So I'm gonna try to be. Here's my dorky answer, because I'm pretty dorky. It's pretty natural for me. A descendant of Israelite, a descendant of Israel. And Israelite is a descendant of Israel. That's like real, technical. I strive to be technical. Whoever is a descendant of Israel, when I say Israel, I'm talking about Jacob, our forefather Jacob. So if you are a descendant of Jacob, then you're an Israelite. Now, it's twofold. A person can be considered an Israelite through blood or through DNA, through blood, but also I believe this as well, that spiritually you can be an Israelite as well, a spiritual Israelite. But I do believe that if you are a Gentile by blood, you cannot become a natural born Israelite. But to me, it's not even that deep, because a natural born Israelite, they have to be a spiritual Israelite. They have to circumcise their heart. So having knowledge itself is a beautiful thing, but that's not where it ends. That's where it starts. And for a lot of us of African descent, I'm mulatto, I'm mixed, I'm light skinned. A lot of us in America, we don't know who we are. And I think that it's a beautiful thing that we could claim Israel as a nationality if we want to, or if we want to claim multiple nationalities, or however we want to do it. But I believe it's beautiful that we can reclaim Israel as our bloodline. So it is kind of a tricky question, and that's kind of my undertaking, as far as you can become a spiritual Israelite and a natural Israelite. But technically, if we just want to stick to the technicality of it, it's a descendant of Israel. But yeah, what's your position on that, Gamliel?
I mean, obviously, it's multifaceted. That obviously, like for me, as far as like descent, descent passes through the seed, right? Which the seed comes from the man, right? So, and somebody who is an Israelite by the seed, what we call them Zerah Yisrael, the seed of Israel, right? But there is a concept that exists within the Torah of ger, of a ger. So, like, we see the example of there was a guy who he was a son of Israelite mother and Egyptian father, right? And he was considered an Israelite as far as the law is concerned, right? And he was held accountable the exact same way that any other Israelite would be held accountable, right? I can't remember the exact verse. I can look it up if you need me to, but but he was held accountable to the laws. So I mean, here's the thing, right? So Israel came out of Egypt, right? And you know, becoming a nation or becoming a people within Egypt, going from 70 souls to like what, 1 million, they obviously had to mate with the Egyptians. So a lot of the people that came out of Egypt with the Israelites were Egyptians, right? And when the Torah was given, like all of those Egyptians were expected to keep that same law, right?
Yeah, I'm following. I'm following you, Knock.
Okay. So all of those Egyptians who came out of Egypt with Israel were expected to keep the Torah the exact same way. Unfortunately, the Israelites fell under the influence of the Egyptians, and many of them died in the wilderness. So now you had to have a whole new generation repopulate. But the fact of the matter is that those Egyptians who came out of Egypt with Israel were not excluded. They were not put to the sides, right? So effectively, they were part of the nation of Israel at the time that the birth of Israel took place, right? But, so all of that is to say that, yes, as far as descent, I would say, if you're a Zerah Yisrael, this would come through the father. But a person can be a ger and also be part of Israel as well. But I don't see descent passing through the mother. I don't see any examples of that in the Tanakh.
I gotta say that's well said. Well said, Gamliel. Elder Byron, Zakane, I'm gonna pass it to you right after my statement. I got you, Zakane. Now I just want to say, Gamliel, you said Zerah, Yisrael. So I gotta ask you, what's your faith? What's your faith, your background, if you don't mind sharing with us?
I mean, my faith is the Torah. I am a messianic. I do believe in, Yeshua as Mashiach, but I am a follower of the Torah. I wasn't always that. I came from an Islamic background originally, so that's my background.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, because we said Zerah Yisrael, and it's rare that I actually hear Hebrew within the Hebrew Israelite community. It's it's a strange thing. We prefer Lashwan Kodash for whatever reason, But even your name, Gamliel, doesn't mean like reward in God, or God is my
Yeah,
reward,
God
or
is my
my reward is
reward.
God.
Yeah, God
Yeah,
is my
yeah.
reward. Yeah.
I can tell this is the way how you pronounce Tanakh and Yisrael, that you tapped into biblical Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
praises to our great
I
King.
spent 30 plus years as a Muslim learning Arabic. And so when I came to the Torah, the Hebrew language, like the first thing I wanted to do is I said, I have to learn Hebrew. And learning Arabic first made it very easy to dive into the Hebrew language. So,
Absolutely, they're sister languages. Yeah, and the sister languages, and some words are pretty much the same or similar. Salam, shalom, assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum. So I mean,
right,
peace upon you.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah,
So
yes.
in Hebrew, we would say, Anachnu b'nei Anachnu b'nei Yisrael. We are the children of
We
Israel.
are children of Israel.
In Arabic, we would say Nahnu b'nei Yisrael. It's the same. It's literally the same.
Straight fire, straight fire. Just for dropping Zerah Yisrael. Shofar blast. Let's go. Just for that. All right, Elder Byron, Zakan, you got it.
Brother Jaden, I'm just going to sit back, and whenever I have something to say, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to go ahead and let you and the brother go ahead and talk, because he's talking your language right now. So, I don't mind sitting back and listening and everything. And if I have something to say, I'll come on ahead and interject. But I do agree with the brother what he said, that it is passed on from father to son. And it is passed on from father to daughter. But the daughter can only keep that inheritance if the father doesn't have any sons, and if that daughter marries a man of that father's tribe. Other than that, if she doesn't have a man of that father's tribe, then that inheritance is lost to her, because she carries the seed of an Israelite, but she doesn't carry the seed of an Israelite. And with that, I'll go ahead and let y'all talk.
Yeah, and Zakan, whenever you feel like it, like you said, whenever you feel compelled, just jump right in. Yeah, because I like how this discussion is going. This is an actual build, and this is what I was hoping to have, where we can just exchange ideas and learn and grow together. Now, I do believe that you can become an Israelite. You can be an Israelite through your mother or through your father. And I use Leviticus 24:10 as an example of that, which you referenced, Gamliel. You reference Leviticus 24:10. You want me to go ahead and pull it up on screen?
Yeah, go ahead, pull it up.
All right, excellent. Just give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna go ahead and just filibuster while it's pulling up. Let me go ahead and share it. I have Blue Letter Bible. Let's go to Leviticus 24:10. And it's really interesting because this verse right here, I hear Israelites that say you're an Israelite through your father. They use this verse for proof. And I also hear Israelites that say you're an Israelite through your mother, and they use this verse as well. So it's kind of interesting. It might depend on how we look at this, but we're going to look into this. This is from Leviticus 24:10. And the son of an Israelitess woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel. And this son of the Israelites woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. Verse 11. And the Israelites woman's son blasphemed the name of Jehovah and cursed. And they brought him unto Moshe, and his mother's name was Shemalith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. All right, so
my question is, why does it juxtapose his identity with the identity of the people that he strove with in the camp? In other words, it sets him apart. It calls the other people that he strove with Israelites, and it calls him a son of an Israelite woman and an Egyptian man. Why does the Torah make that distinction?
that's an excellent question. Gamliel, I can only give you an inference, which is a fancy way of saying opinion. I can only give you my opinion because I don't know if the text explicitly gives us a reason why he is not named, why he is not listed as an Israelite. It says son of an Israelite. That's an excellent question. So my guess, this is my inference, my opinion. Maybe it's because he blasphemed the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh. It says Lord, and in Hebrew, family, you can just highlight over the English word to get the Hebrew word. It actually doesn't have Lord. It's actually italicized. So that means it's actually not in the Hebrew. It's not in the Masoretic text. It's italicized. Now, so my answer to that, or my best guess, Gamliel, is because this right here. The Israelite woman's son blasphemed the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh and cursed. Blasphemed the name and cursed. To me, that's the reason why. He is so disgraceful. He was so out of pocket. Not only did they put him to death, but they didn't even mention his name or his lineage by saying Israelite.
So what about okay? So my question is Korah, like Korah. That it didn't do the same thing with him, right? He actually went against Moses. He and was swallowed by the earth, and it never said, "Hey, you're not an Israelite." It didn't point out. It didn't say nothing about him. It didn't separate him from the Israelites for doing what he did, and that was pretty bad. He and the people who were with him got swallowed up in the earth, right? So I can't really accept that as an explanation. I think it was pointing it out because it wanted us to see the distinction between the Israelites and someone who was a guest in the camp, right? And how that guest, even though he is not an Israelite by his father, was not exempted from the law. He was still held to the same law that any other Israelite would be held to, right? That was an example to show that whether you are a bloodline Israelite or you're a ger, a sojourner, that you would be held by the same laws.
And the way I see it, Gamliel, is the situation with Korah or Korah is different. When he and his people got swallowed up by the earth, man, that's a scary sight. That's like something you see in a scary movie. He's swallowed up by the earth. No
Right.
TDJs. No TDJs. When we say swallowed. Okay. Now, with that said, that was different because I don't know if where it says in Korah, where it says that he blasphemes, where here, blasphemed and cursed. He blasphemed the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh and cursed. I'm just recalling just off the top of the dome because I've actually had the honor of preaching on Korah, on the story of Korah. They thought that They didn't need Moshe and Aaron. They thought that they was the big shot. They thought that, that they had the duty or they had the position to be priests. And, they caused division. And as a result, they got dealt with. But I would not equate that to the same punishment as blaspheming the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh and cursed. So I think the situation was different. But yeah, I'm going to pass back to you.
Okay, so can you show? Well, obviously, I don't think we have many other examples to look at. As far as the Bible is concerned, of a person who is an Israelite by their mother only. Like that's really the only example that I can think of as far as the Bible. Unless are there any other examples that you can point out of anyone in the Bible who is an Israelite only on their mother's side?
Absolutely, Gamliel. And like the way how this conversation is going, to me, we just building, we just having a good dialogue. I love the energy. I love the vibe. I wish we could do this more often as Israelites. Too often, I just hear a bunch of screaming, hollering, and yelling, and calling each other names. I like how this is going because we have different stance, but we're peaceful about it. Now, before I show another source, I actually would like to go into Leviticus 24:10 a little deeper, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Hallelujah, because I don't want to gloss over this. Let's start with verse 10. It says, and the son of an Israelitish woman whose father was an Egyptian. Okay, so far we have this son. His mom is an Israelite. His daddy's an Egyptian. Okay, he went out among the children of Israel. And this son of an Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. Now, it says in Hebrew, it says, Vayetze ben Isha we Yisraelit we hu ben Ish mitri betok bene Yisrael we yenatsu van machane ben ha Yisraelit we Ish ha Yisraeli. So it says, and he went out and he exited or went out, son, woman, Israelitish or Israelite woman, and he, son of man, Egyptian, Mitri, betok in the midst, bene of the children of Israel, Wayenatsu, and they strove together, b'machane, b'machane, in the camp. They strove together in the camp. Who strove together? Bain ha-Yisraelites. Bain is son. Salika, this is construct form. So it's Bain ha-Yisraelites, the son of the Israelitish woman.
Yeah, Ben ha-Yisraelit wa Ish ha-Yisraeli.
Yes, absolutely. B'machane ben ha-Yisraelites wa Ish ha-Yisraeli. So it says in Hebrew, and they strove together, wa Yenatsu, b'machane, in the camp, ben ha-Yisraelites, the son of the Israelitish woman, or the son of the Israelite, Tish, and Waish, and the son of the Israelite, Slika, and the man, the Israelite. Waish is and man. I'm breaking it down slow for the audience. I don't like to speak over nobody.
Yeah, it's
Waish
okay.
and the man of Ha-Yisraeli, because my goal is to teach at a third grade level. If I didn't do that, I failed. So I try to take my time and just go through it, parse through it slowly. But we're looking at the Ivrites in the Masoretic text, and it says, Wayenatsu, and they strove together by Machane, in the camp. Who strove together? Ben ha-Yisraelites, the son of the Israelitish, the son of the Israelitish woman. It doesn't say woman, but it says Israelite. It says
Yisraelit is only applied to a woman. So yeah, it's an Israelite woman, and
yes, sir.
A man
yes,
of
sir.
Israel, Israelite man.
Yes. So it's phrased differently in the Ivrit, in the Hebrew, than it is in the English. So to me, I prefer the English. I prefer the Hebrew over the English. To me, the Hebrew's MC Hammer, The English is vanilla ice. Thank you. I'll be here all day. Thank you. But I want to ask you. So, like, how do you translate this? How do you see this? Because what I see, Gamliel, is that they strove together in the camp. While Yinatsu B'machane, they strove together in the camp. Who strove together? The son of the Israelitish woman and the man, the Israelite, and the Israelite man. So the son of the Israelitish woman and the Israelite man. Notice it doesn't say Ben Ha-Mitzri. I'm going to highlight for everybody to see it. It doesn't say Ben Ha-Mitzri.
Okay,
if you
so
are
let
who
me
your
look at
father,
it. Let me look at it.
Yeah. But before I pass back, I just want to land by saying, if you are who your father is, it would say Wayinatsu B'machane Ben Ha-Mitzri, the son of the Egyptian
All right, let me
man.
look at it.
Wa'ish Ha-Yisraeli. So King. Yeah, you got
All
it,
right,
King.
so
You
it
got it, King.
says Wayese Ben Ishah. And so the son of a woman, Israelite, went out, Israelite woman, with who, and he was Ben Ish Mitzri. Says it right there. Betoch b'nei Israel, in the midst of Israel, Wayinatsu, and they strove b'machane ben ha-Yisraelit, and he strove in the camp with the son of an Israelite woman, with Ish ha-Yisraeli, and a son and an Israelite man. So it calls that son of the Israelite woman Ben Ben Ish Misri, right there in the verse.
Well, it's a conjunction. Where who? And he.
Well, who? Yeah,
Yeah, where who?
Who
Right.
Ben Ish Misri,
Right.
and he was the son of an Egyptian man, right? So it's telling you that this is an Egyptian son and an Israelite son, because it says well, who Ben Ish Misri, and then when it talks about the other guy, it says it calls him Ish Ha Yisraeli. So it separates them based on their fathers, but it does take a note that his mother was an Israelite woman. But he is categorized as a son of an Egyptian, just like that Israelite man is categorized as a son of an Israelite with Ish Ha Yisraeli. So you see the contrast right there in the same verse. Now this doesn't mean that he was not an Israelite as far as like in any way, right? He just wasn't like of the seed of Israel. He was not Zara Israel, but he would have been considered at least according to my understanding, and I don't claim to know everything, but he would have been considered a ger. Do you agree?
Well, we also have to consider this, Gamliel, because it says after, it says right here, Wayinatsu B'machane Ben Ha-Yisraelit Wa'ish Ha-Yisraeli. So if that's the case, because you say that what you translate it as who he is the son. You're saying that this right here, who Ben Ish Mitzri, is proof that the son is an Egyptian.
That's what it
It just
says, and
says,
he was a son of an Egyptian man. That's what it says right there.
but if that's the case, Gamliel, then why does it say right here, Ben Ha-Yisraelites? How do
Because
you
it's making
harmonize?
it's telling you in my opinion, it's telling you that some of the people who came out of Egypt with the Israelites were of these mixed marriages, where they may have had a mother who's an Israelite and a father who's an Egyptian, right? Because obviously, if they went in as 70 people and they came out a million estimated, they made it with the Egyptians. They made marriages with the Egyptians, right? So some of them, some of those marriages would have been Israelite women with Egyptian men, and they were gathered out of Egypt along with everybody else, right? And I believe that in the second Exodus, it's going to be the same thing. That you're going to have Israelites who are, their mother's an Israelite, maybe their father is something else. They're all going to be gathered together, right? And then they have to go through the whole wilderness trial and figure it out there. But they're going to be gathered, right? Just because they're gathered out doesn't mean that they make it all the way. It's just they have to go through the trials and the proving stages and everything else. But it's letting us know that a lot of the people who came out were what we would consider to be Gerim. These were sojourners. And this is a good example of that. And just because he was not an Israelite through his father doesn't mean that he was held to a different standard. He was held to the exact same standard as every Israelite. So according to the law, he was treated the exact same way as an Israelite. Right? So it doesn't mean that he had less rights or he had less, that he was held to a different law or whatever. But there is a category for that type of person, and that person is called a ger.
All right, all right. So I appreciate that explanation you gave. But I also want to just ask you, Gamliel, just to make it short and sweet for all of us listening. So I just want to just ask you this. So it says Wehu ben Ish Mitzri here. But I just want to just ask again, just for clarity and just for that way we can all follow you, because you're dropping some new knowledge that a lot of us are not familiar with. When you're saying ger and going in, well, a lot of us are not familiar with what you're saying. So to make it simple and plain like Wonder Bread, just in a sentence or two, how do you harmonize Wehu ben Ish Misri and he, son of man, Egyptian, son of an Egyptian man, and he, son of an Egyptian man, with with Ben HaYisraelit?
Well, I mean, there's no real need to harmonize it because every person has a mother and a father, right? These are not two contradictory things, right? Every one of us has a mother and a father. I'm my father's son and I'm my mother's son, right? But as far as lineage is concerned, my lineage is from my father. It's not through my mother, right? I don't trace my lineage to my mother. I trace my lineage to my father because my father provides the zerah, the seed, right? From his father and his father and his father, all the way back to Adam. That's where the seed comes from. The woman provides the fields where the seed is grown. Right? If I take an apple tree seed from America and plant it in Afghanistan, it's still gonna be an apple tree because that's what the seed is. It's not going to change what it is just because I planted it somewhere else. It's still going to be an apple tree. Now you could call it an Afghani apple tree, but it's still an apple tree, right? So the seed is determined by the father. It's not determined by the mother.
And I
Although
would agree.
you are the seed of you are the son of your mother. You are the son, and you're the son of the father, but you're the seed of your father.
And I would agree with you when it comes to Israel as a nation. Yeah, if your pops is Judah and your mama is Benjamin, then the child is Judah. So yeah, I agree with you there. But like when it comes to this situation here, where you have a kid that's mixed, you know, his mom is Egyptian, his mom is an Israelite, his mom's an Israelite, and his dad's an Egyptian. The way how I understand it, Gamliel, is that if he was an Egyptian, he would have been called son of an Egyptian man. He would have been called Ben
Give me 2
Ha-Mitzri.
minutes. Give me 2 minutes. I'm just gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Oh yeah, you got it, King. I'm on mute. Family, like the video for that. Me and Gamliel, we getting into the Hebrew. He's dropping deep perspectives. We're sharing our information, even though we don't see eye to eye exactly on this topic here. I'm enjoying this conversation. And yeah, Elder Byron, do you have any commentary, anything you'd like to say?
Not really. I think that y'all doing a real good job. It's just bringing me back to scriptures as y'all talking. I went back to Exodus chapter 1 and verse 5. And it says, all the souls who came out of Jacob's body, or all the souls that came out of the loin of Jacob, were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already. So he even included the women that came in there that came out of Jacob's loins, his daughters. But if that's the case, then where does the seed come from the woman? Because in order for it to be the seed of Israel, then that means it has to come from the seed of Israel, because that seed comes from a root, and that root is Jacob. So the question that I pose is, where does a woman have a seed at?
I can share that. I want to share that with Gamliel. I want him to. I want to share. I want to go there where a woman has a seed. Here's Gamliel. So, Gamliel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Brother
so
Jake,
yes.
I don't want to interrupt you and brother Gamliel. So if you want to come back to that later on, if he want to continue his point, I'll be fine with it. But that was just a question that I'd had for the panel whenever y'all could get to it. So if y'all want to continue y'all discussion the way it's going, I'm great with that, brother.
Okay, excellent. I'll just go ahead and give the answer. We can go back to it, but I'll just say my response is Genesis 3:15. The woman does have seed, and that woman is Hawa. Eve. Eve has had seed. So the woman does have seed, and that's in Genesis 3:15. So that's my quick answer. We can go back to it, but yeah, let's go back to the scripture at hand. I appreciate that.
Hold on. Can I comment on that?
Yeah, for sure.
Did that
You got
woman
it.
have seed before she was impregnated or after?
We would have to look into it. We'd have to look into it because I don't want to say something premature and like, oh, I want to take it back. I've done that too many times. I'm like, oh, well, I got to actually look what the scripture got to say and then follow the scripture. So
yeah,
to me, it's not about just being right. You know, I'm trying to be right, but we don't all have all the answers. So
yeah, exactly.
Now,
That's a very humble position to take.
Toda, thank you. So going back to Leviticus 24:10, this is the way I see it. If this child was an Egyptian, it would have been mentioned right here. It would have been Ben Ha-Mitzri, the son of the Israelite man. I mean, the son of the Egyptian, quote unquote man. That's how I read it. So to me, it seems like the ownership is going towards, or the possession, the lineage is going towards the Israelite woman. The son belongs to the Israelite woman. And this is my proof right here because it's like reiterated. To me, when I see Wayetse ben Isha, Ha Yisraelites Wehu ben Ish Mitri, It's explaining that he's mixed. It's explaining that his mom is Israelite, and his father is Egyptian. And it says Wehu. It says and he. You could translate it that way, and he. And you said was. I mean, the word was. We answer was. It doesn't say was, but we're
Well, I
speaking
mean,
English
he's
to make.
dead now, so I mean, it's in the
Yeah.
past tense, right?
Well, it's a pronoun. It's a personal pronoun. So we're trying to make it make sense. But yeah, we could rock with that. But then
Okay, so here's the
further,
thing. Here's my question to you, right?
uh-huh.
If he's an Israelite, like full stop, with no like footnotes or exceptions, what was the point of pointing out that his father was an Egyptian?
And that's a beautiful question to somebody who believes he was a full stock Israelite. I don't believe he was a full stock Israelite.
No. But I'm saying, okay, if he was an Israelite, like, so there's two issues that we find in this passage. Is that it doesn't say in the passage that two Israelites got into a fight, and one of those Israelites cursed God and was put to death. What it tells us, it goes out of its way to tell us that this person was a son of an Egyptian man, and he strove in the camp against a man who was an Israelite. Right? It wants us to know that. If now, let's say if it was just another Israelite, it wouldn't have pointed that out. It would not have talked about that person's father or mother or anything like that. It would have just said two Israelites got into a fight in the camp. One of them cursed God, and one of them was put to death. That it would have been just like that. But for whatever reason, it went out of its way to make sure that we knew that this person was the son of an Egyptian man, and he was and he was a son of an Israelite woman. Why did it make that distinction if he's just an Israelite like everybody else?
And also, we got to keep in mind first mention. I know they teach this in Bible school, but Bible school, seminary, whatever. Seminary, whatever. But notice it mentions and the son of an Israelite woman. It mentions the woman first. Just keep that in mind. And then it says whose father was an Egyptian. That's how it's translated in the KJV. Went out among the children of Israel, and this son of the Israelite woman. Notice it didn't say son of an Israelite. Notice it didn't say son of an Egyptian. It says son of an Israelitish woman, and a man of Israel show up together in the camp. And we'll go to another translation. KJV is outdated. The KJV, Stephen Seagal today. I think I can take Stephen Seagal today, and I can't fight. Okay, so let's go to Bible.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. You're here all day. So ESV, I like ESV a little bit better.
Yeah, I like ESV too. Yeah, I like ESV.
Actually, I like it a lot better. I like it a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says, now an Israelite woman's son, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the people of Israel. And the Israelite woman's son and a man of Israel fought in the camp. That's how the ESV renders it. Every translation, you're going to see some variation. I gave my interpretation. You gave your interpretation, Gamliel. But I also want to further look into this by going to verse 11. It says, and the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh and cursed. And they brought him unto Moshe. And his mother's name was, it's hard to read it in English. It's easy in Hebrew, and Hebrew is hard. I mean, English is hard. The daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. So notice it says right here, and the Israelitish woman's son. Why does it not say, and the Egyptians? Why does it not say, and the Egyptian man's son? Why does it say, and the Israelitish woman's son in verse 11?
So my opinion is that because the Torah is an Israelite-centered book, right? He's there because the whole reason why that man is there is because he's connected to the Israelites, and it's telling you how he's connected through his mother. But it wants to make it clear that he is not the same as the other Israelites. That's the whole thing. That's the whole point that's being made, is that he's not the same, because it didn't have to say all of that. It didn't have to tell us that his dad was an Egyptian. It could have conveniently left that information out. It could have not have told us that at all. But the fact that it went through the trouble to include that information tells us that it's important to know the status of this person, right? And then when we read the rest of the Torah, we see that this type of person falls under a ger. This is a ger, right? And it says one law, right? Torah echad, for the Ezrach wa Hager, the one who sojourns among you. There's no difference in the law between the Ezrach, the homeborn, and the one who is a ger, a sojourner. So this is an example of that, right? It's showing you a real-time example of how the same law applies to the Ezrach and the ger. But I think that the reason that it pointed out those things is because it wanted us to know that this was a ger, and that the ger, just because they're not an Israelite through their father, they don't get a pass at all. They can't say, "Well, I'm not technically no. You're in this camp. You're part of the Kahal Israel, so you are subject to the same laws, regardless whether you are Israelite, you have a mother's Israelite, or you somebody who maybe you don't even have an Israelite mother or father, and you choose to be a ger among Israel, you are circumcised, you will be subject to the exact same laws. There's no excuses. I think that's an example of that.
I will notice that you added the word ger in there. I don't see ger in this passage. You inferred, like in my opinion, you're adding your interpretation into it, which is totally okay. We all do it, but it never refers to this son as a ger.
No,
As a
you're
matter of
right.
fact, yeah.
I never claimed. I never claimed that this passage calls him a ger. What I said was that this passage is an example of another passage that talks about there being one law between the Ezrach, the homeborn, and the ger. That's what I said. I never said that this passage called him a ger. So this is an example of it, because the passage goes through the trouble of letting you know that this guy was not the same as the other Israelites because of his father being an Egyptian.
Yeah, it doesn't explain why. We guess why. But to be definitive, to be explicit, the text explicitly doesn't explain to us why the son of the Israelitish woman is not mentioned. We can only just give our guesses. My guess is that because he blasphemed the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh and he cursed.
But what? Okay, yes, he did blaspheme the name and he cursed. What does it have to do with his father and his lineage? That has nothing to do with it. So
That is
okay, since you blaspheme and you curse, I'm gonna let everybody know that your dad's an Egyptian. That doesn't make any sense.
well, what I'm saying, Gamliel, is I'm giving my inference. I like to share with the audience when I'm giving my conclusion. I don't teach my conclusion as scripture. It's just an inference. It's a conclusion that I arrived to. We have the right to do that, but I don't teach my opinions as scripture. But that's my guess on why his name is not mentioned. I don't know why his name is not mentioned. Maybe they forgot his name. maybe they didn't write it down his name. I don't know why they didn't write the brother's name. But we can only guess why his name is not mentioned. But what we do know for a fact is that he is called son of an Israelitish woman. more than
Yes,
he is called a son of a Egyptian man. It makes the distinction that
it
this
does.
son belongs to the Israelitish woman. And this Israelitish woman is an Israelite because it says, and his mother's name was Shelomitz, the daughter of Dibri, the tribe of Dan. These are Israelites. So her lineage is Israelite. So yeah,
Right.
he belongs to Shelomitz. You can highlight over the Hebrew to get, or highlight over the English to get
No,
the
yeah, no,
Hebrew, or you
I
can just
agree
read
with
it.
you. I agree with
Shelomitz.
you there. I agree
Shelomitz.
with you. I agree with you that he belongs to Shelomit, but he does not belong to Shelomit's tribe.
And that is your conclusion that you arrived to.
Whatever
Because
tribe
it
that
doesn't.
she is, whatever tribe that she is a part of, he is not part of that tribe, even though that is her son. He belongs to whatever his father is. So the tribe that whatever tribe his father is from in Egypt, that's what he's from. But he's part of the nation of Israel. He's part of the Kahal Israel because he has chosen to accept the covenant. So that would make him a ger, an outsider who's not an Ezrach, a native-born Israelite through the father who accepts the covenant is a ger. They're still part of the Israelite nation, but they're not Zerah Israel.
And those are your inferences. The text doesn't say that. You're adding it. You're giving your explanation. You're giving your midrash to it, which is totally fine. But what I'm saying for the audience is, it doesn't say that in the text. What we do know is that the ownership goes to the mom. He's mentioned as the son of an Israelitish woman more than he's mentioned to his Egyptian father. And there's a reason for that, is what I'm saying. And hey, there's a reason why his name is not mentioned. We don't know the reason. We can only guess. You gave your explanation. I'm giving my explanation. And if he was an Egyptian, it would have said so. The text would have said so. It would have said, and the Egyptian man's son. It would have said it right here in verse
Well,
11.
it said
We
that
would
he
we
was.
would have to add all of that, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it does say in the text that he's an Egyptian. It says that he's a son of an Egyptian man. Now, what you're saying is that because yes, you're conceding. Yes, it does say that, but it mentions that his mother's Israelite twice. So therefore, because it gives one more mention to the mother, that overrides his lineage. And that just doesn't make any sense. All throughout the Bible, tribal designations are based on the father, right?
But we're,
We
we're
don't.
dealing with Leviticus 24, 10, and 11, and it's not 2 times, it's 3 times. The first
Okay,
mention, Gamliel, is
even
the
if it's
son.
three times, even if it's
This
three
is
times,
for the audience right here. It says, and the son of an Israelitish woman. That's where it starts. It starts with this first mention, and then it mentions again, second time, in the same verse, and then it mentions again in the third verse. For the third time, it mentions for the third time right here in the next verse, which is verse 11. And then it explains his mother's Israelite heritage. So to me, I see this as the son belonging to the Israelitish woman. This son, from my conclusion, it's my conclusion, my inference, he's an Israelite. But for whatever
yeah,
reason, he's
I
not
didn't, I
mentioned
didn't,
as a. It doesn't say he's an Israelite verbatim. It says he's a son of an Israelitish woman.
yeah.
But
So here's
just
the
because we
thing.
see those three references, and it's clear it's the first mention and it's mentioned 3 times in a short matter. So I can only guess on why he's called a son of an Israelitish woman. My guess is because he blasphemed and he cursed, and it's so bad that the text don't even say the creator's name. It
So
puts the creator's name in italicized. That's another thing just to examine as well. But that's my stance, and I'm not saying you have to believe me, Gamliel. It's just
no,
that's the
no.
conclusion I
But here's
arrived
the
to. If
thing.
he
I
was a
think,
son, if he was a son of an Israel, if he was a son of an Egyptian, it would have just mentioned it more
but
often. It would have made that distinction. But yeah, you got it.
here's the thing. I agree with you on your conclusion, right? Your conclusion, I agree with you. Your conclusion is that he's an Israelite. How you arrive at that conclusion is what I disagree with. So I get to the same place that you get to, but using a different way, right? Because I think what's happening here is that you're arguing against people who say, "Oh, you're only an Israelite if you're an Israelite through your father. That's the only way you can be an Israelite, right? That's the only way that you can be part of the Israelite nation." That's what you're arguing against, right? And what I'm saying is that the Ger who chooses to join Israel, to be a sojourner among Israel, and keep the same laws, is also counted among the Israelite nation, right? So that, these camps and things like that, these guys, they believe that, oh, you can only be part of the Israelite nation if you're born into it. That's not true, right? So I can look at this same example of this person who his father's an Egyptian and his mom's an Israelite, and he's there at Sinai and he's accepting the covenant with Israel, and I can say that he's an Israelite. Right? Now, if we go deeper, like, okay, well, what tribe is he from? He's not gonna be part of the. I mean, he would have to be assigned to a tribe, right? Like, I think in Ezekiel it talks about this, that the Gerim who joined Israel during the time of the third temple, that they would be assigned allotments among the tribes, right? That they would be, okay, you're a Ger, you accept the covenant, you're going to be with the tribe of Judah. You're going to be with the tribe of Levi, or not Levi, but like Zebulon or something like that, right? And they're going to be considered as with those people because they're going to be counted among those people, even though they're not of the Zerah. So that was the only distinction that I was making. It's not, is he an Israelite or not? It was more along the lines of, is he a Zerah Yisrael? So I arrived at the same conclusion as you, but just in a different way.
And that's beautiful. Even though we have nuance, different perspectives, we still have a commonality. We still look at the text. We both can look at the Ivri, all praises to Yah. We can look into the Hebrew and arrive to a similar conclusion just reading the text. But like you're using the Bible holistically throughout the Tanakh to arrive to your conclusion. Where I'm looking at Leviticus 24:10 and 11 because it appears to be an odd case. It seems like something that's not ordinary here. There's something that's different about Leviticus 24:10 and 11. But you mentioned counted amongst Israel. I do have another reference that I like to share on screen to the family. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 2. I'm gonna pull it up on screen. 1 Chronicles 2, 34 through 35. 1 Chronicles 2, 34 and 35.
Okay.
Let's go ESV. Let's go ESV. This KJV mess. Let me. You got a lot of brews that love the KJV 1611, but I tell them it's outdated all the time. I mean, it's I guess people holding on to this nostalgia or whatever. I mean,
you gotta think about it. Like a lot of the people, they come from Christianity, and so I didn't come from Christianity, so I was never a Christian. And so when I came into the truth from Islam after having learned Arabic for many years, the first thing that I said is I need to learn Hebrew so I can read the Bible in its original language and not have to rely on any translation. I don't rely on translations at all.
yeah, because when you tap into the Hebrew, you're going to catch mistakes that the translators make. And it's not to take away from their skill because they're they know the language, but sometimes they go out of their way. They go out of their way to mistranslate verses.
Mhm.
I noticed
Yeah.
that quite often. So, like, family, when you tap into Hebrew, you're gonna understand where me and Gamliel are coming from. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but you know, knowing Arabic and Hebrew, you're gonna see some funny business with the translation. To your point, you
Yeah.
don't even look at the English. You don't even look
Right.
at the English.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
so like on screen, I like to share this scripture with you. I like to see what you think of this. Let's start with verse 34. First Chronicles 2:34. Now Sheshan had no sons, only daughters. But Sheshan had an Egyptian slave whose name was Jarha. So Sheshan gave his daughter in marriage to Jarha, his slave, and she bore him Attai. And then it goes on to list Attai's kids or lineage. Attai fathered Nathan, Natan fathered Zabad, and goes on and on and on, and names the rest of the Judites right here.
Okay.
So, it stops at verse 41, Salika. So it stops at verse 41. So verse 34 to verse 41, they're connected because then it transitions after verse 41 to the sons of Caleb. So, how do you look at this passage, Gamliel?
I have to actually look at it. You said so. It's First Chronicles 2 um and what was the verse range again? 24 to 34.
First Chronicles 2, verse 34. First Chronicles 2, verse 34 through 41.
Okay. All right, I'm reading
Yeah,
it
check.
now.
Yeah, check it out, King. And I'll go ahead and read it. I'll read it out loud so everybody can see it again. I'm one of those
Okay.
people. You gotta read it to me twice.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
miss it
Go
the
ahead.
first
Go,
time.
go
Maybe.
ahead and read it out.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
read it the first. I'll miss it the first time all the time. Let's go. Now Sheshan had no sons, only daughters. But Sheshan had an Egyptian slave whose name was Jarha. So Sheshan gave his daughter in marriage to Jarha, his slave, and she bore him Attai. Attai fathered Natan, Natan fathered Zabad, Zabad fathered Blase, 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 to verse 41.
Okay. So
Can I say something?
I've never studied this verse before, so I don't really I can't really speak on it right as of right now. I would have to like study it and look into it. So this is
For,
I mean I've read it. I'm pretty sure I read it because I've read the whole book of Chronicles before, but you're pointing out something that I've never like zoomed in on and like really did a study of. So I would have to look into it. But it's very interesting that he had nothing but daughters. He gave his daughter to an Egyptian slave, and this slave bore sons, right? Now, I guess I'm just going to say from my limited knowledge that this reminds me of Hagar, right? Hagar was a handmaid of Sarah, and Sarah gave Hagar to Abraham because she was barren and she felt like she could not have children. So she gave her handmaid to Abraham as a wife to bear children, but those children would be considered Sarah's children. Am I correct?
first, I like to go big screen. And I just got to say, I appreciate you. I appreciate your humility, your honesty. Those are two qualities that are rare in the Hebrew Israelite community: humility and honesty. I love it that you just kept it a buck. Was like, you know what? I need to check this out a little deeper, and that it reminds you of Hagar, Hagar. So I just gotta just give you your flowers for that, because a lot of Israelites, they just try to assume like they know it all, and they don't want to appear like they don't have an answer for everything. So what do? They make the mistake, they become boo-boo the fool and give an answer without actually considering what they're saying. And you know, you hear this phrase from me a lot. I always say I don't know, to the point where it drives Elder Byron crazy, because I'm always saying I don't know. He always asks me these tough questions. I'm always, Elder Byron, I don't know. I say I don't know a lot, because to me it's like a I'm not a debater. I'm not a master debater. I'm a Moreh. Master debating is weird. Shout out to marriage. Don't be a master debater. There's a lot of master debaters on YouTube. But I will say, thank you. Let's go. Thank you. I'm a Moreh. I prefer to share information, and I like to ask the audience. Like when I teach a passage from the weekly Torah parasha, I like to get into the parasha. I like to get into Torah portions, and like, bro, I don't have a clue half the time. Like, I'm reading stories throughout the Tanakh or the Torah through the yearly cycle, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what this means. And I was a Christian minister, licensed minister, before I was in the awakening. So the more I read the Tanakh, the more I read the Torah, the law, and then also the Ketuvim, the prophet, the Nevi'im, the prophets, and the Ketuvim, the writings, the more questions I have. I have more questions than answers. So I just appreciate your honesty. And yeah, I mean, I can see there's a connection there with Hagar. Because I mean, ultimately, it was through Sarah's child, Sarai's child. You have Isaac, and then through Isaac and Rebecca, Rivka, then you have Jacob. We have Esau and Jacob, but then so I can see a correlation there. But I think this right here is a rare. This right here is one of those cases that just it sticks out like a sore thumb. This is really fascinating, because check it out. Check this out, Gamliel. Like, these are Judites, because it names Attai, who's the son. He's mixed. His dad is Egyptian, was an Egyptian slave. His mama was an Israelite, but it don't stop with Attai. And check it. It doesn't even call him son of an Israelitish woman. It don't do that. It isn't called, Attai is not called a and an Israelitish woman. And
so,
that's why my guess is because
and I'm just giving my opinion here, right?
Yeah, sure.
Can I add something, brothers?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay. This one right here, I looked at it once before because I was listening to another brother talk about this, because he was using this to defend something about the same thing we're talking about now. And when you look at it, Sheshan, verse 34, Sheshan had a servant, an Egyptian, whose name was Jahar. Now, Israelite custom, and if I'm wrong, I have two brothers that can go ahead and let me know if I'm wrong. When you have a servant, and that servant or your slave has a child, if that child is to an Israelite woman, that is the property of that servant's master, right?
That's what I was actually gonna say, that because this is a slave of an Israelite man, that just like in the example of Hagar and Sarah, the children that were born to Hagar would become Sarah's children. They would be counted as Sarah's children, right? It's just similar to a levirate marriage, where if a brother dies, his brother marries the wife and has children in his name. Technically, he's a seed of the brother, but it's in the name of the dead brother, right? So that's where I was going to go with that. Is that because of this Egyptian was a slave, then technically those children will be counted towards his master. And that's just my opinion. I haven't looked into it. So that's just what I'm saying for now, until I actually do like a thorough study into the matter.
Yeah, because there's a lot of information that's unknown. There's a lot of information that we just don't know. We just have to guess. So that's why I'm going to stop myself from giving an inference. I'm just going to go off what the text say. I'm just going to rely on the text because I don't want to. Yeah, I'm just going to just keep it short and sweet. I'm just going to use this as an example that you can
Yeah,
be an
no, I see
Israelite.
where you're going. I see that
Yeah.
you're saying that because these women are of this tribe and they had children by this slave, that you're saying that they're counted as the members of this tribe um because of the daughter, right? And so just like you're saying that what I'm saying is an inference, that's also an inference. To say that they're counted from among the tribe because they are born to this daughter is also an inference, right? And so I would say that, and like I said, I could be wrong. I may end up changing my opinion later after I do research. But I would say that looking at the example that we already have with Hagar and Sarah, that those children, the children of Hagar, would have been counted to Sarah. This may be a same example of that, but I could be wrong, and and once I look into it, I may be wrong.
Can I say something right quick?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it, Elder.
Okay. When y'all were talking about Hagar and Sarah, go back to Abraham and his servant. What did he tell the Lord? He say, if I have if someone is going to inherit my land, I don't have a descendant that came from my loins. So his servant was going to put his hand up under his thigh, and he was going to have a child for Abraham that would be his inheritance. Could that be the same thing that happened with this right here? And then another thing, could that Egyptian servant have been circumcised unto the God of Israel so that the seed that comes from him now passes through the circumcision? Now that seed is circumcised unto the God of Israel. So when the daughter of Sharon had children, they were counted up as the children of Judah because that Egyptian servant was circumcised into the tribe of Judah. Just another thought.
And I think those are some possibilities to consider. Absolutely. And I think it's cool that we're making a distinction between what's an inference and what is explicit. And I think that's important to know when we study the Bible, because we're quick to make inferences, to make opinions, and then sometimes we make the mistake of actually teaching our opinions as facts when we don't really know for certain that they are. We're just giving our best guess. We might be onto it, we might not be onto it, but I think those are reasonable possibilities, Elder Byron. Also, Gamliel, where he made a connection with Abraham and Sarah, the children through Sarah. This. But I would say that I would just lean toward what the text say on this one, and I want Gamliel to come back because I do want to mention something to him. If this wasn't important, then why are the rest of the children mentioned? Why is Attai mentioned by name, and how come all the others are mentioned as well? So, like, to me, this does count as lineage because they're mentioned. And we can go. Oh, okay. So I'll go ahead and repeat that real quick, Gamliel. So, yeah, I just want to say it's cool that we're making a distinction between our opinions and what the text actually says. And we have the right to make opinions, but I don't think we should teach our opinions as facts. But I think we should consider those possibilities. And I like that we gave our opinions and we consider that there's different reasons why this may be so in First Chronicles 2:34 through 41. But I will give my opinion and say this was of importance to the point where they were counted amongst Yisrael. Even though Attai had an Egyptian father and an Israelitish mother, it was important to mention him and his children as Yisrael. Let's go to tools. Let's go to Atai. Let's go to definition, Atai. Opportune, a Judite, grandson of Shishon, the Jerahmeelites by daughter Ahai, who gave in marriage to Jarha, his Egyptian slave. His grandson Zabab was one of David's mighty warriors. So a Judite. And then also, it doesn't stop there. It goes on to name the rest of his kids. So they are counted in Chronicles. Chronicles. So this is like a historical account. So to me, they mattered. They were considered Israel. And also I like to say, you know, this is also the last book of the Tanakh, by the way. I mean, it's not Malachi. That's the last book of the quote unquote Old Testament, but the last book of the Tanakh, the Ketuvim, is Second Chronicles, Salika, Second Chronicles, but you know what I'm trying to say. Or Chronicles. You know what I'm trying to say. You got it, Gamliel.
Oh no, so I'm not of that school. I've never been a One West Israelite, for one. All right. I know what they teach. I know that they teach that you know, the lineage is like the only people who can be part of Israel are people who are born through the lineage, right? Through the father. I know what they teach, and so I know what you guys are combating, right? I'm not of that school of thought, right? Because the Torah specifically speaks about the ger, and I've seen how when they're confronted with this, how they dance around it, and this is why they don't like to go into the Hebrew, right? Because the Hebrew destroys that whole belief that they have that the ger is only a Gentile who's just like he's not a part of Israel. When you go into the Hebrew, you can see that there are different classifications. Like the Gentile is like the stranger is. You have the ger and you have the nochri or nechar, right? And in the King James version, it just translates
like stranger,
both.
nokri, like stranger, like on foreign.
Yeah, foreign.
Nokri.
But in King James, it translates them both the same, and so they say, "Oh, see, the stranger he can't eat from the Passover." Blah 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 blah. You can feed him like meat that died on its own, right? But it talks about a stranger who, once he gets circumcised, he can eat from the Passover, and he's treated the same under the law as the Ezrach, and that's the ger, right? And you have to go into the Hebrew to know this. You're not going to see this in the English translation, in King James or any other translation. You have to go into the Hebrew to know the difference. A binechar or a nochri is always someone who's not of the seed of Israel, and he's a complete foreigner. And even when it comes to those people, it says that some of those people in the end will be welcome in, right? In the end, right? So the point of the matter is that, like, I know what you guys are battling, and I'm not of that school of thought. I believe that people can join. I mean, Uriah the Hittites. It's like, come on. Uriah the Hittites, right? This is a man who loved King David, right? It's unfortunate what happened to him, but he loved King David and he was willing to give his life for King David. He guarded King David. And he's a Hittite. You telling me that this person was not part of Israel? He was clearly a Hittite, right? Because of his name. But he was in the army of Israel. He's fighting for Israel. So people like to overlook a lot of these things. You know, in this example that you gave, obviously, technically, these children would be of an Egyptian seed, but that does not mean that they're not part of Israel. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're Israel because of their mother, right? Because even if their mother was not Israel, they could still become Gers and join Israel. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, and it's crystal clear. I didn't think you were from the One West camp. Right when you said Zeddah, I knew you wasn't. Because if you was, you go Sada, Yasharala, or whatever the hell. It was just baby talk. I mean, I say it from time to time as slang, just so we can build rapport, but it's not real Hebrew. You're not going to have a conversation. You're going to do a bunch of pointing. You are going to have extremely short conversations, and you're going to be confused half the time. And and they're so quick to call they're so quick to call somebody a caveman when truly they're the ones who sound like a caveman.
Here, I'm gonna show you my Bible. This is my Bible right here, brother.
Woo! Look, let's go. Let's go.
This is the Bible that I read, brother.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on. Wait, straight for that. Wait, hold on. For that, straight fire. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, you got it, Elder Byron.
Where are you from?
I'm from Oakland.
Okay. Where was your? Because the reason I asked is because you said that you were raised Muslim, and to me, I asked that question because I know that the tribe of the Northern Kingdom was scattered into Assyria, which is mostly Islam, and the Southern Kingdom was scattered into Egypt, which is mostly Christianity. That is why the Catholic Church has all those symbols on the wall. It's just like a depiction of Egypt and how they had their temples. So it was just interesting when you said that you were Muslim and you read you understand Arabic and everything else. Like, okay, that's pretty cool, real cool. Just wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, no, all my family is from America. I learned Arabic here in the United States. I have traveled to the Middle East, but I learned it all here in the United States. I learned Hebrew here in the United States. And if my parents grew up Christians, but I didn't grow up Christian.
Wow, that's crazy. You say you from Oakland because my family's originally from the Bay. I still hold on. I still claim the Bay. I've been moved out of the Bay. I'm not in the Bay. I'm in the Central Valley right now.
Oh, you
know about the Central Valley? Close enough. I'm his cousin. I'm in Stockton.
Oh,
they cousins.
Shit. EBKJ-Bo. EBKJ-Bo. Yo, it's crazy out there.
Yeah, hey, it's crazy out there. Shoot, it's crazy out there. It's crazy where we both at. Talk to me. Hey, okay, so my family is originally from Frisco, from San Francisco. I see you got the city. I should have known you was from the Bay. I mean, you got the city. My family's from Filmo, the Filmo projects.
Yeah,
that's right. Yep. So yeah, I got family from Filmo, legendary historical black neighborhood. OC projects. Check it. I used to go to church in Oakland. I got my first sermon that I ever preached was in East Oakland.
Where?
Yeah. Church of God in Christ in East Oakland.
Where's that at? Like what's
it's on what year or what?
No, yeah, like what street or whatever.
It's on 90th.
Oh, 90th. Okay, okay. That's
deep East Oakland. That's deep East Oakland. Let's go. That's deep East Oakland. How about yourself? What part of the town you from?
Deep East. Like 8. I lived on like 69. 68. We call it 82nd and like 99. Like all throughout Deep East.
Hey, you say 82nd. Hold on. We might know people that know people. We might know people that know people. I'm serious.
Who you know from 82nd?
Okay. Well, This YouTube, so I gotta be careful. You might have to hit me up on my email. You might have to hit up my email. We can maybe chop it up. I don't want to. I love my family on YouTube. I don't want to give too much away, if you know what I mean. But I will say this. I know people from 82nd. I will leave it there.
Do you know that mosque? Do you know the mosque that was on 82nd and MacArthur?
No, I'm not familiar with the mosque. No, I'm not.
Are you familiar with 82nd and MacArthur, that whole area?
It's been a minute, King. It's been a minute.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
I grew up in that mosque, right? Yeah, I grew up in that mosque right there. I went to Castlemont right down the street.
Hey, Jake.
You went to Castlemont? I know people that went to Castlemont. Remember, I went to church on 90th. Hey, and real talk. Hey, this. I don't want to take a sad turn, but I got to mention this. My older brother was killed in East Oakland, and I will say this: he was killed on the 80s. I'm not going to give away the block, but I'll say on the 80s. And check it out. My brother was your complexion, Gamliel. He was your complexion. And this was 2002. This is when East Oakland. This is when Oakland was the murder capital. So So I got some good, I got some bad, and I got some ugly when I speak about the Bay. And it's crazy because one of the reasons why we moved out to the Valley is because it's cheaper, and also to get out of Oakland. We didn't I live in Oakland, but I was, we were like affiliated in Oakland. So when we moved out here to live, in a safer area, we actually moved to Lathrop, and then we actually ended up moving to Stockton. So, I mean, what the hell with that plan? That plan didn't work because we went from Oakland to eventually Stockton. So it's just as bad. I mean, Oakland's bigger, but Stockton, for its size, like, it's pretty bad when you consider it's a mid-major town. It's terrible out here. At least you guys have like city life, and things to do. Like Stockton, it's a bunch of hoods. You got gangs. We got big city problems with small city recreation.
That's true, man. Like, I would never. I mean, if I had to choose between living in Oakland or Stockton, I would definitely choose Oakland. And I told myself, once we left Oakland, I would never go back to Oakland again. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to choose between Oakland and Stockton, I'll choose Oakland anytime over Stockton, because people just kill each other because they bored out there in Stockton.
Yeah, Oakland, it's like if you on somebody's turf, it's like, what you doing on our turf? Like, you ain't from around here. Like, it's you out your safety zone when you jump in turf, and then you moving weight on somebody else's turf too. Like,
but
Oakland, out here it's like
in Oakland, you gotta be messing with somebody's money, or with somebody. It's either you messing with somebody's money, or you messing with somebody's girl, or you messing with somebody's family. That's what's gonna get you hurt in Oakland. Like, in terms of like colors, like blood and Crip. Like, we don't have blood and Crip in Oakland. You know what I'm saying?
Check it out. We got another native too right here. It says, I'm a native of Oakland. This not coincidence. That's what I'm saying. I know some people from 80s. I know some people from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even want to go there because it just I'll just leave it alone. We might actually know each other, and it's crazy. We might know people that know people that know people that know people, and this is a small world. But you know what, man? The rest of the information I wanted to share, I'm going to withhold that for another time because I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Elder Byron. What's your thoughts? What's on your mind, Elder?
Actually, I was just about to text y'all in the comments and say that my wife's family is from Oakland.
Dang, everybody from Oakland today.
And we live in Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana, but her father's side of the family, she has aunts and uncles and cousins and everything in Oakland. I'm like, wow. So
there's a lot of people from the South from Oakland, man. Like, my family's from Louisiana. My dad's family from Louisiana. My mom's family from Alabama. So,
what part of Louisiana your father's from?
He from what's that? It's called Dang, it's like some little small town. Like I always forget the name of it.
Because I'm from a little small town in Louisiana.
What town are you from?
Plaisance around Opelousas.
Nah, it's like it has. He told me it had like one street light in that town.
Well, that sounds like Plaisance.
No, it ain't that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna think about it, and I'm gonna tell you. Just give me a minute.
And you are right. A lot of people, and that's the thing. Your heritage started here in Louisiana, but now you branched off to California. And a lot of people in California, heritage, if they trace it all the way back, it comes right back here to Louisiana, right back to Judah, where Judah is at. And I'll go ahead and say it. I don't know if Jaden gonna go ahead and say it, but it
Oh,
was
here
really
it is.
nice
It's
having you.
Franklinton. He from Franklinton.
Okay, from Franklin to Louisiana,
Yeah,
right around. He from North Louisiana.
yeah.
My wife has family in Franklinton. You see, we keep on talking. I'm assuming be like, "Hey, cuz, what's going on?"
Yeah, yeah.
And you see, and the lady Sharon was right. Everything that the Father does, He does it for a reason, and He know how to put His people together, just like we're doing today. This is what we're calling reasoning together. Everybody's bringing something to the table to add to a picture. And we all come to the table with an open mind and give the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, the paintbrush. Then he's going to paint something in front of us that we all can see so that we all can become one mind and one spirit and one body. Until we become that, we're going to forever be in our captivity, because in our captivity, we were supposed to learn some things. But the question is, did we learn how to be true Israel, or did we learn how to be just like the nations? And so that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. And right now, if what we're about to go through, if you're not circumcised in the heart, that means if you haven't given your heart over to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he hasn't placed that covenant in your heart, then when everything starts to go wrong in the world and your light not shining, then you'll be considered as a part of the darkness. Because remember what the Father said. He said that the words of the covenant, you're supposed to write them around your doorposts. He said those words are supposed to be in your heart so that it could be a light that goes before your feet. We don't understand that we're supposed to be walking, talking, living arcs of the covenant because the Father has placed something in us that He didn't place in all the other nations, His word. But the question is, how are we letting His word shine? Tonight, this is how you let His word shine. You come, you sit down, you reason, you laugh, you joke, and then afterwards, you go back and you look at those things that you talked about. So that when you come back together again, now you can bring another color to the canvas so everybody can be on the same page. It's not that we're teaching one another. The only thing we're doing is one is watering, one is planting. But after we do all that, now we go to the Father so He can give us increase on that what we just heard. So I just want to tell y'all, brothers, I thank y'all. I enjoyed the lesson, and I especially enjoyed you being on here because Jaden be talking about some words. I don't know what the heck he talking about. I'm a country boy from Louisiana. So I'm just glad to have somebody on here because when he say something in Hebrew, hell, he could be cursing me out and I wouldn't even know it. But now I have a brother that if he keeps on joining us, now Jaden and him can get together and maybe now we can start learning more about the Hebrew language as a people. Through the way that y'all talking to each other. A child learns how to talk by listening to the adults around him speak. We supposed to be children. I don't mind sitting down and learning. My age has nothing to do with my wisdom. And with that, I'll close.
You know, I
And this is
encourage.
you got it, Gamliel. You got it.
I encourage all Israelites to learn Hebrew. Never rely on 100% on translations. There's nothing wrong with like reading a translation. I have translations, but like I said, like my Bible, this is my Bible right here, bro. This is what I read every single day. I don't believe in relying on translations, and I can tell you, Hebrew is not a hard language to learn. And primarily because as a spoken language, it died. It died as a spoken language, not as a. It didn't die altogether. Like it was still used for Torah readings and prayer and things like that. But in terms of like everyday speaking, it ceased as a language for everyday speaking. So that means that the vocabulary was frozen. So biblical Hebrew only has about 8,000 words. That's a very small language compared to Arabic, right? Which was the language that I learned growing up. 14 for classical Arabic, not everyday Arabic, but for classical Arabic, for reading the Quran, 14,000 words. Right? You wanna be able to understand the Quran completely. That's 14,000 words. If you want to understand the Bible completely, that's 8,000 words. And Hebrew is simpler. It's a simple language, right? So I know a lot of I grew up loving learning languages. I studied Arabic, Hebrew, Farsi, Spanish, right? I studied several languages because I love languages. But I know for a lot of people, like that's not something that they do, and it's intimidating for some people. But don't be intimidated. Just be determined and learn it, and break that dependency upon translations. I guarantee you, you will be thankful and grateful that you did it. Right? It's gonna open up your eyes for those of you who may be coming from like One West camps and things like that. You're gonna see that a lot of the things that they teach over there, they can only teach from the King James. They can't teach that stuff. A lot of those things they cannot teach from the Hebrew Bible. Once you get into the Hebrew, some of those doctrines they just collapse. And I was never part of One West. When I came into the truth from Islam, I said I heard the camps, and I said, "Nah, I'm not going that route." I went straight towards learning Hebrew and like learning the laws and things like that. Like here I have this is the Mishnah, Torah, just for learning basic laws and things like that. You know, and I'm still learning. I'm a student. I don't know everything, right? So yeah, don't be afraid to learn the language, and it's gonna open up a lot. There's a lot of hidden things in the Bible that is only visible in the Hebrew. It's only visible in the Hebrew. A lot of hidden things that you will never see in the English. Like, so please don't be afraid to learn the Hebrew and take your time. Take your time. However long it take you, take your time. It's not hard. So
Beautifully said. That was beautiful. That was powerful. That was inspiring. Family, take back your language. This was our language. Family, this is our heritage that was given to us by Yah. It's from Yah. It's all from our great King, from Yahweh, from Yahweh. And I like to say, family, if you are curious in learning biblical Hebrew, not Yiddish, not modern Hebrew, but biblical Hebrew, Masoretic Hebrew, go below in the description and enroll in the courses that we have. We have classes for children and adults. We also teach gematria, and I recommend the bundle. That way you learn the three scripts, the three Hebrew scripts, pictographic Hebrew. You also learn Paleo Hebrew, which you see a lot of camps rocking the Paleo Hebrew, and also the block Hebrew as well. So with that said, family, I'm going to go ahead and close out because this is a beautiful conversation. I want to end on a high note. I don't want it to go back, and I don't want to go back and forth. I just like this vibe, this conversation. This could be a part 2. I'll save my information for another time, but I'm gonna go ahead and allow Gamliel, go ahead and give your closing. If there's anything you'd like to advertise or plug or to share with us, feel free to give your closing.
Thank you. So again, this was my first time visiting this channel. I just happened to see it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. Let me click and let me listen in." But after I've listened, I definitely feel like I want to continue to watch this channel because it's rare that we come across Israelites such as yourself who are enlightened and educated, and you've studied the language, obviously. So those are the type of Israelites that I want to be around and be a part of. So I will definitely subscribe to the channel and come back and watch more of your videos and check out this community. And if I'm ever in Stockton, you know what I'm saying, maybe we can link up. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this is I think this is the future of the Israelite community. Eventually we have to get away from the One West thinking, all of those doctrines that they were preaching, and really look at what the Torah and the Tanakh and the Bible are teaching, and be honest with ourselves and break away from some of this indoctrination. And a lot of that comes through studying the language, and being humble, right? Being humble, not pretending like we know everything, admitting what we don't know, right? So yeah, this won't be the last time you see me. I'm definitely impressed by this channel, and I want to come back and spend some more time with you guys.
I appreciate you. Got me. Hold on there for a second, because I want to do something that we usually do on Shabbat service. Elder Byron, go ahead and give your closing. Please stay with us, Gamliel, because I want to read the priestly blessing. We'll close out with the priestly blessing. This is so beautiful. I want to close out on the priestly blessing. So you got it, Elder Byron.
I want to say thank you, Jayden, because last night me and you didn't agree, and we still had a beautiful conversation. Tonight we didn't agree, and we had a beautiful conversation. And to me, that's what it's about. It's going to come some times when I might be right or you might be right. But as long as the Father always get the glory in everything that we're doing, then we'll both be right in his eyesight, because we're doing that one thing that he has always told us to do. We're reasoning together. We're coming back and we're remembering who we are, whose we are, and what we're called to be. Just like we're talking right now, we can't stop who hears this word, because this word is a light in the midst of the darkness. So you don't say who this word shine to. It's going to shine to whoever the Father wants it to shine to. So that's why in my heart, I honestly believe that, yeah, there's true Israel. There's those that are circumcised of the flesh and that are circumcised of the heart. But then there's that Israel that comes in and join themselves to the natural born Israelites and become Israel, so that now his word can go ahead and be fulfilled. He said, those that bless Israel, I will bless. And ain't none of our ancestors, my ancestors were in slavery. They didn't own no wagons while they were in slavery. They didn't own no houses while they were in slavery. They were in slavery in Louisiana. So if any of my ancestors escaped, they had the help of a white man along the way. So the Father word has to come back, and it has to be true. Those that bless Israel shall be blessed. But the only thing that we have to do as Israel is just let our light shine amongst men, so that we can show them who the God it is that we serve, and give him all the glory, all the praise, and all the honor. And with that, I want to tell y'all, brothers, thank y'all. I enjoyed listening to y'all, and I look forward to hearing and listening again.
All praises, all glory, all kavod to Yah. Hold on, Elder Byron. I'm going to close out with Numbers 6:22 through 27. This is the blessing of the children of Israel. We read this every Shabbat service. We close out. Even though it's not Shabbat service, I'm feeling so good. I feel like we got to close out on this. Wadabel Yahor El Moshe Lemor, Dabel El Aharon, El Banal Lemor, call to Vatiku Ethbenen Israel Amor Lahim. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aharon and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel. Ye shall say unto them, Yevareka Yahor wa Yishmareka, Yair Yahor Pana Aleka Wehuneka, Yisa Yahor Pana Aleka, wa Yasem Laka Shalom. May Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. May Yahweh make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee, and may he give thee peace. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen.
Amen.
I like to, all glory, all praises to Yah. I like to thank Adon, Gamliel, Ben Israel. I like to thank Zakane, Byron, Willer. I'm Jaden Israel. Until next time, shalom, fam.